long-term suffering of the victims of the Troubles has been very much in the spotlight in recent weeks, but tonight we hear the experiences of a family who feel they've been well and truly neglected. Max Orunda was travelling on a train from Ballymena to Belfast when an IRA bomb exploded, killing him, a 17-year-old boy and one of the bombers. He left behind his wife and 3 young children.
But the family had much more than the grief of bereavement to deal with. Their home was repossessed, and in the last 15 years they have lived at 15 different addresses, unable to find a permanent home. They've been to the Housing Executive, the Victims Commission and even the First Minister in an attempt to get help.
BBC Newsline's Tara Mills has this exclusive report.
January 1980, and an IRA bomb ripped through a train on its way to Belfast. Max Orunda died along with 2 others, including one of the bombers. He was from Nigeria but was working in Belfast as an accountant, where he met and married a girl from Strabane. His daughter Alison was just 6 when he died.
I didn't take it in at the time. I can remember, because of the way my father was left, obviously, as it was a firebomb. The coffin was empty, nothing was there. That stays with me every day, and at that age, right through my teens, I believed it hadn't happened.
His wife Gabrielle has also never recovered from the shock and loss.
My husband was dead 6 weeks, and the doctor told me I was fit to go back to work. So I'm back to nursing 6 weeks later, and I worked from then until 5 years ago. And now it's just all packed in.
The Eames Bradley proposals have left the family angry. They've moved 15 times in the same number of years. Intimidation because of race and religion often a reason. The children had to grow up fast.
My mum got very depressed and would take to her bed for days on end. So as a child, I knew something terrible had happened. I was told that bad people did this, and more or less having to cope with things that I don't think a lot of children would have dealt with. You know, the 7 and 8 year olds paying out household bills, making dinners, cooking and cleaning, trying to make sure my mum was okay and maintain a normal life, you know, with school and that.
Where they live now is another rented property. 4 years ago they joined the Housing Executive list in the hope of a permanent home and contacted various victims groups for help.
We've been left with nothing once again, and as far as I'm concerned, they're happy to see you left with nothing, as long as the headlines and the press know or believe that bodies are set up for victims, then that's fine. They can put up all these smoke screens, victims groups for this, victims groups for that, but it's when you actually go to them for the help that they promise that they can give, and you realise that they can't, you begin to realise that it's all just a front to make Northern Ireland look as if it's moving forward. But as far as I'm concerned, they can't move forward until they really deal with their past. And if they leave it much longer, there won't be any victims left.